Lenny, you got that grit. You went into a high performance industry, which is the NFL. You had to be a top performer. You had to be at your best at all times. Otherwise you saw your game or other things in your life suffering.
For sure.
And so both of you guys had to, pretty much perform in high performing spaces, right? And as you did that, what do you guys feel like you lean into for your mental health, like your mental capacity? How do you guys mentally stay strong to keep being top performers in your industries now?
Well, I always say the separation is in the preparation, right? When you're prepared, you can have the confidence, the swag, the edge, because you put in the work. But there's two things that I often use when I'm performing in competitive or high stakes spaces, and that's visualization. That's the first thing I like to utilize. So I'm big on mental rehearsal. Like when I was in the NFL, I did it a lot. So like whether I was guarding Jerry Rice or Randy Moss or Chad Ochocinco, whoever it is, that's competitive, right? On a Sunday, I got to get ready. And so what I would do is I would visualize and rehearse maybe the scheme or coverage that we're going to be running in that particular game. I would picture myself doing something phenomenal, like making that tackle or making that interception. You always want to visualize with positivity, not with doubt. So I would do things like that. Then I would also get emotionally connected to how I might feel in that situation. Same thing when I speak on stages. I want to rehearse. I want to stand in front of the mirror. I want to prepare. How am I going to feel? I want to picture the audience. I want to make sure that even if the weather, if we're playing on a Monday night and it's going to be snowing, I want to make sure that I'm visualizing the snow and how I'm going to feel. And what's so powerful about the reticular activating system in your brain is it can't tell the difference between what you're imaging and what it is that you're actually doing in real life. And so what you're doing is you're getting repetitions, right? You're getting repetitions even though you're not doing it in real life just yet. So visualization is very, very powerful. The second thing that I would encourage you to do, because I feel like language is creation, okay? Words create your reality. And so whatever it is that you're thinking, but most importantly, what it is that you're speaking. So I always guard my self-talk. When I'm getting ready to do a thing or when I'm getting ready to do something in a certain space, I make sure that I speak with confidence, I speak with my chest high, and I speak with belief, right? So I wake up in the morning, I say my affirmations. Even if you have doubt, remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between, even when you doubt, it doesn't know the difference between what you're imaging and what you're doing in real life. So when you say, I am a king, I am born to be great, I am born to do this, that, and the third, when you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm grateful for everything that God has given me, when you wake up in the morning and you say, money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways, money's gonna start flowing to me no matter what I do. Like, when you speak like that and with that type of conviction, then you're able to show up to spaces, right, ready when you don't even believe that you're ready sometimes.
Absolutely, yes, please. Preparation meets opportunity right there.
For me, my foundation, like my faith is my foundation of what really keeps me centered. I put God before anything. I wake up every morning, thank God for another day. If I have a hard time, I pray. Everything, I put it around God. And for me, that's really what's kept me like central and calm and collected in certain circumstances. I also try to always do small goals. I do have long-term goals, but those long-term goals sometimes make you feel like you can't achieve them. They're so far away. So sometimes you need to set those small goals to really put yourself out there and say, okay, I need to get this done and this done in 6 months. You give yourself that time frame. It's easier than saying, I'm going to do this in 10 years or 5 years. And just doing that is what's really helped me stay focused, stay connected with myself, with who I am.
Biggest thing in life, you can make sound decisions when you know where it is that you want to go. If you don't know where it is that you want to go, you're already losing, because now you're going to get pulled in so many different directions. You can't make sound decisions for your life. And decision is, that's everything, right? The ability to decide and the ability to make a choice and do it firmly and do it with conviction, that's the power that you have within you and the free will that God gave you. And I was able to exercise that at a young age, and so super grateful for that it worked out.
Wow. Just wow. That is a powerful story. I love what he said right there. He talks about he literally left a full ride scholarship on the table. How many of you guys would think, if you were his friend at the time, like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah, right? Exactly. And so he made that decision, but did you guys catch what he said right there? You can make sound decisions when you know where you're going. How many of us right now know where we're going in life, where we want to be? Exactly. So when you know where you're going, you're gonna be able to make those amazing sound decisions. Vanessa, what was that moment for you that people thought, what is she doing?
I think for me was when I was in high school and I was talking to, I remember my friends, and they were talking about them going to this, they wanted to be a doctor, and one of them wanted to work at a corporate office for this one bank because she did accounting. She wanted to do something with accounting. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I have no idea what I want to do. Like, I don't know, and I don't want to go to, I know I don't want to go to college, but I really don't know what. So I remember the next day I was talking to my parents and I was like, oh my gosh, like what if I, become a business owner? What if I have my own business? And, I talked to them about it. They're obviously excited, growing up with parents that are entrepreneurs. And so they were like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, great question. Now I need to figure that out. I got the one part down. Now I got to figure out what I want to do. And I remember going to school the next day, and I'm like, oh, I know what I want to do, guys. I was like, I want to be a business owner. And I remember their look on their face, like, what? Like, what, you being a business owner? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what if, I told them, I was like, I want to, invest this money and do this. And they're like, but what if? And the what ifs is what really started to get to me. Because I was like, those what ifs is what got to my head. I'm like, wait, what if I can't do this? What if I really can't? What if I lose all this money and then later on have to, become bankrupt and then literally have to figure out my life out, have to go to college? I was like, I'm not going to college. So for me, it was one of those decisions that I had to step away from those friends and protect my mind, protect my mindset, and protect my space, and realize that I can do anything I put my mind into, and I can't let anybody else tell me what to do. And if I would have let them tell me what to do and I would have heard them, I wouldn't be standing here on stage today speaking to you guys. So.
Yes, powerful words right there. Again, it's about those pivotal decisions that she made for herself, even though others probably thought, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Okay, so I guess my next thing for you guys is, has there been a time in your life where things were going the way that they should be going, but it no longer served you in the capacity or aligned with who you are now? Has that moment ever happened for you, Lenny?
I mean, I feel like, if something is growing, your business is growing or your purpose or whatever it is that you feel like you're doing is growing, but your soul is shrinking, you got to make a shift. And, that's happened a couple of times in my life. I don't really want to speak on some of the things that I don't like to talk about when I had those moments, but I can tell you what you have to do to be able to notice it, and what you have to do when something's growing or the income is growing, but maybe the impact isn't there. Maybe the contribution isn't there. You got to kind of sit in solitude with yourself. I spend a lot of time with myself, right? And sometimes with alignment, it doesn't scream, it whispers. But if you're so busy and you're always out and you're always around certain people, you can't often hear that voice. And so that's why a lot of people like to sit in silence, whether that's meditation, whether that's reading a good book. I like to do stuff like that because that's when I get my best thinking done. And so if something isn't in alignment with you and you don't feel fulfilled, see, there's two things that I need to feel alive. And Manny knows this because I always say it. It's growth and contribution. So the business or whatever it is that I'm doing might be growing, but the contribution may not be there. The impact may not be there. My soul might not be into it anymore. And so what that means is you may have to deconstruct something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to quit. Maybe you just have to pivot, adapt, maybe add something to it, so you can fill that void that you're feeling in your spirit. So that's what I said.
For me, I think it was when I started chilling. I didn't realize how fast we were going to grow, and the attention we got. So us being the only nitrogen ice cream store in San Antonio, of course, like, you think ice cream, you think traditional ice cream and how it's just, right in front of you already made, and that's it. You just pick a flavor and call it a day, put some toppings. The way we do it is we actually make it right in front of you, and you get to pick every single ingredient that goes into your ice cream. So I didn't realize how popular and how fast we were going to grow, and I think somewhere along the way we lost the vision and mission of what we wanted for Chillin'. So we had to step back and fire people, hire people, train new people, retrain people that we already had, to see if they still fit our criteria of what we wanted for Chillin' and what we wanted for, the company in general. So I think it helped a lot too that I was also working in corporate, so I actually am a brand ambassador for my company as well. And I help them open stores all around the U.S. So I've opened the Nashville store, the Fort Worth, I've opened the South Carolina store, so I've kind of gone around, and that really helped me help those franchisees as well realize the difference between urgency and the sustainability. And so you gotta know when those, those quick moments to take leap, whenever like a customer says something that they need something done in that moment, that's urgent. But when they complain about something or something that happened, because anybody that's worked in fast food here or has worked in any type of food industry knows that everybody will complain about everything. Like, because the air is too cold, because the air is too hot, because the seat isn't, put right, because it has whatever, it's always one thing after another. And there's things that are like crucial whenever the customer tells you, hey, this is going on, just to let you know. And then you have to step back and talk to all your employees and be like, guys, this cannot happen again, or this is something that we need to change, or this is something that, something more structural. And I think for me, I have the best relationship with my employees. I mean, they were literally calling me earlier today and we're like, we miss you, we hope you do great today. And so they're like my best friends in a little world. But they're amazing, and so they helps me really go back to my vision and my vision of what I want for my company. And so for me, that's just like the most important thing, because if you don't have that, if you don't have that structure, it's when everything starts crumbling down. And then you have to pivot and figure out ways, in urgency, instead of taking the time to build something and build it right the first time around.
That's amazing, because that was actually my follow-up question to you was, how do you both manage tension? How do you manage that tension as you're building something meaningful between sustainability and urgency?
How do I manage the tension between urgency and sustainability? When I think about those two words, I get two other words that come to mind. I think about gratitude and hunger. So I think when I think about urgency, I think about hunger. A wise man once said, without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. So when I think about urgency, I think about getting it. When I think about hunger, I think about getting it. I think about hustle. And you gotta have that if you wanna win in life. We all know that, right? That's the key to progress, is having that ambition, that hustle. But sustainability reminds me a lot of gratitude, which is my superpower. So success isn't always about the grind. Success isn't always about speed. Right? Success is also about stamina. And so if you don't manage that tension, you can burn out, right? So I believe in being satisfied while also being ambitious, right? So I wake up every day with gratitude in my heart, with the understanding that I'm not complacent in that space. I still got work to do. But if I just think about the work that needs to be done, I don't smell the roses, right? And I don't thank God for the air that I have in my lungs, right? Now I just become disconnected with myself, right? I become torn, and nothing is never enough, right? And I've made millions of dollars, and I know that I want more, but at the same time, I know how grateful I truly am to come from where I come from, watching my parents sell drugs. And so I'm able to manage that, but I do it because I'm always thinking about gratitude and hunger, and that's what urgency and sustainability reminds me of. Because again, as I was saying, success isn't all about speed, it's about stamina. So even if you got this urgency about yourself, this hustle about yourself, if you don't have sustainability, your company will collapse in a few years rather than you building something long term. You want to win the long game, right? You want to be able to win 20 years from now, 25 years from now. You want to have something that's sustainable, like some of the major companies that you hear of today, like Google and Facebook and all those other big companies.
Absolutely. How about for you, Vanessa?
For me, it's like, I always think about, you can't build something on like a just get it done mindset. You are always like, oh, I just need to get this done. I just need to get this done. I just need to get this done. Instead of like, okay, what can I learn from this? Or what can I do this to better myself in? And learn in the process, not just get it done. There's so much that goes into it. It's just the foundation of, especially with me for my company, like it's the foundation of, I always tell my employees, if I tell y'all to do something, it's not because I want something a certain way, it's because it's how, in the future, like, for example, one of my employees is gonna be an accountant. And I tell him, I was like, even I tell you to do something a certain way, it's because you're gonna need structure in a bank. You're gonna be handling people's finances. Like, you need to have structure, you need to have organizational skills, you need to have all these things. And this is just to help you later on in life. Like, this is not just an ice cream shop. You're actually going to learn and build. And I never hand anything to my employees, but they've gotten so many opportunities where they were able to go to a bank that I knew a friend and got into and to be an intern this year. Another one is in marketing, and I gave her a marketing opportunity. So I don't just give it to them, they earn it. And they have to do that by proving to me that they can be the employees that, that they're meant to be. They're organized, they're respectful, they communicate, all these things that go into line that will help them not only in their profession, but in life in general. And I think that's just like the most important thing, and just being able to do that.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Now, I know you guys are living large in regards to your dreams, your accountability to yourself. And when you think about the accountability to yourself and you talk about that mental space, how you get that clarity and being able to know what direction you want to go in, it helps me think even to the point of your circle of, your audit of your circle, the people that you surround yourself with. For you, what are those red flags when you feel like your energy is being drained from the people around you in your circle, and how do you do an audit on that? Lenny?
Oh, I love this question, but I'm like,
I can answer that one first.
Okay, go ahead.
For me, it's if somebody's draining my energy and constantly nagging all the time. I don't allow myself to be around anybody that I don't want to be around. If you make me feel like you're negative all the time, if you make me feel like I have to push you to do something, then you don't listen, then I tell you again and you don't listen, I tell you again and you don't listen, I'm just like, I'm not going to keep telling you to do something. I'm not your mom, you need to figure it out yourself at that point.
What does that look like for you? Is it just, how do you transition from that space?
So for me, I quickly, even after high school, when I told you guys those friends that were telling me those what ifs, I cut them off right away. I can tell you right now, literally the only people that I am close to is Alex right here, these people right here, and Fan in the back, and our board members. That's it. Nobody else knows anything about my life unless I put it on social media, then that's about it. That's the only way you know about me. I don't let anybody in my circle because I protect my mindset. I protect my space. I don't let anybody come to me and tell me something that I can't do. As soon as you tell me I can't do something, you're out of my life. You will not tell me I can't do something, ever. I don't let people do that because I am 23 years old. I have so much, to look forward to, which I'll talk to a little bit of guys about some new experiences, some new things I have going on. And I can't let anybody tell me I can't do something, and I won't let them. So.
Wow, you guys feel that energy? Yes. Keeping circle, really hard, warnings. Lenny, how about you? What is that?
yeah, one of my favorite rappers is Nipsey Hussle, the late great Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey said something powerful. He said, the greatest human act is the ability to inspire someone. But most people, when he said that, they didn't think about, well, what's the worst human act? The worst human act to me is the ability to discourage someone. So if you're the type of person, or I'm around people, even if you're not talking directly to me, but you're talking about somebody that I care about, if you're here to kill confidence, if you're here to kill vision, if you're here to kill purpose, if you're here to kill her dream, if you're here to discourage, right? That's the worst type of person to be around. Whether you're doing that through complaining, whether you're doing that through negative energy, whether you're doing that through manipulation, whether you're doing that through jealousy, whatever it is that people seek when it's time to discourage somebody, I'm very careful, and I'm very big on words anyway, so I'm always watching what people say. So if you're that type of person, chances are I'm gonna give you more than 50 feet, right? To the point where I'm gonna cut you off. Now, I'm not gonna cut you off out of hate. I'm gonna cut you off because of love for myself and where I'm going. I don't got no ill will towards you. But if you are killing and discouraging other people's passion, dreams, and vision and confidence for their own life, then shame on you. So yeah, that's how I do it, but I kind of just remove myself and lay back in the cut.
Those golden words right there. Shame
Put a
on
couple
you.
people on block, block a couple people, sit back. What you been up to, man? I've been doing my thing, man. How about, stay away from
Okay,
it.
so that takes me to my next question for you. When big money starts to show, right? You can't hide it. It's showing up. People are recognizing that. How do you protect your space? How do you protect your business? How do you protect the way you move around others?
I think at the end of the day, no matter how much money you have to be true to yourself. I think authenticity is the most powerful word that comes to mind when I think about attention, money, stuff like that, because you have a lot of people who start to get the attention, they start to get money, they start to switch up. right? And that's why I love serving. That's why I love being down to earth, because people know I'm gonna keep it solid and keep it real at all times. People know that. People know that around here. I'm always gonna be a person you can touch, reach out to, call. I've never been stuck up, right? And it's because I'm true to where I come from. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like to see my mom and dad struggle. And so as long as I stay true to my core and true to myself, right, then none of that other stuff really matters. If you have real values that your mom or your grandmother or your pastor or your mentor or whoever put inside of you, make sure you remember that. Because when the money and attention does come, if you stay rooted in that, you won't switch up. And then also, I also like to protect, when I used to talk about protecting brand, I also like to watch who I align myself with, because I don't want to be guilty by association. So I'm very careful with who I partner with as well. Like when she asked me to come speak, and I said, youth entrepreneurship, services, I mean, we do the same thing almost, right? My whole vision is to inspire youth and young adults to live healthy, wealthy, and wise. I love mentoring youth as well. So it's easy for me to say yes to alignment with something like that because I know we're in the same alignment. Does that make sense? But when people are not, then you got to be careful, because that can backfire on you as well. And so just remain true to yourself.
And that's what you said with the whole alignment. Like, don't confuse attention with alignment. And that is a big thing.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, like those two things are like, everybody will cheer you on and be like, you're doing amazing, great job, and then they'll stab you right in the back like no other. So always know the two differences and set boundaries, know when to say no. And I had to learn that the hard way, because if anybody knows me, knows that I'm like the most like, yes, I'll do anything for you. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it. Whatever you want, I'll be there. I'll do it. But sometimes you have to say no, and that is okay. It's okay to say no, and especially for you guys that are, you youth at school. It is okay to say no. It is okay to not want to do something, not be like your friends, and not do what your friends are telling you that you should do. It is okay to do that, and there's no shame in it. If anything, you're speaking for for yourself, and that is more than enough that that you could do. And just the way I protect myself for sure, and my brand in general, is like we were talking about, auditing your circle and not letting anybody near it. Like I said, you'll only know about my business unless I talk about it. Other than that, you won't know about it. So
Yes, those were right there, guys. Protect your circle. Definitely protect your circle. Now, you guys, both of you guys, are building. You've accomplished so much in your lives. Lenny, you've accomplished so much. You pivoted from, NFL, then you went into business ownership, investorship, mentorship, all the ships, right?
Yeah.
All the ships. All the ships.
every ship.
Ownership, everything, right?
Yeah.
So right now, it's like those entrepreneurs, right? As an entrepreneur, you get to that challenge, you overcome it, you get to it, and now you're like, what's next, right? What are you working on right now that scares the living bejesus out of you, but you're still running towards it and you're excited about it?
Yeah, I don't know if it scares me. I mean, not to say that I'm a fearless man or anything like that, because I don't fear anything but God. But I would say that what I'm working on right now is probably going to challenge me as I enter into, I think, the medical equipment distribution space, which I'm just launching a company, Legacy Y.E.S Strategic Group. It's a new space for me, of course, because it's different. But for me, I've always wanted to get kind of in that space. I got a few friends in the space. And so I called it Legacy Y.E.S Strategic Group, because I feel like this particular business is going to take me to a legacy type of wealth. I've seen a lot of money. I'm comfortable. I'm not married. I don't have children at 45. So I'm in a very comfortable space. I can travel and do all the things that I want to do. But I feel like this business will allow me to do even more in service, in contribution, and in making a difference. So I'm excited about the new venture. But that's what I'm currently working on. Obviously, still training every single day at the studio. Personal training is a part of my life. I enjoy it. I'm still investing in real estate. Of course, still working with breaking down walls. It's been on pause for a little bit, but I'll be back here in a second. But yeah, I would say my medical distribution company.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So we have first-hand knowledge over here. If anybody wants to be a part of that venture.
For me, it's kind of what he was saying. Is now my turn to kind of build my legacy. I recently got married in February, and like now, obviously, we talk about kids and all that kind of stuff. For me and my sister have always wanted to build or be in the restaurant industry. She is actually studying for restaurant hospitality in Miami, Florida. And so she and her are opening a smash burger slash speakeasy concept coming this year. And so the only fear I have is, of course, the financial risk, because it is over $1 million worth of investment that we will be doing, and the rent is going to be here downtown, actually. So it'll be actually pretty much close by here by the Hard Rocks Cafe. And so it's exciting, because what we want to do is with this concept is, you know, create a whole new, we have a chef, we have everything already planned out. We want to do something different, cheaper, good product, and I feel like nowadays with everything going on with inflation, everybody's scared of everything that's going on in the world. We want to make something that's also good, but you know, got a good price, fair price, not like how burgers are. You can go to Whataburger and I swear it's like $15 now for like a whole meal when it used to be like 10. So we want to just kind of do something different and then franchise that out. So instead of me being a franchisee, I will be the franchisor now. And so we will be opening the location here in San Antonio, and then we're already planning Dallas, Austin, and Houston. So.
Yes, please give them a round of applause. Absolutely. And then as we conclude this session, Lenny, speaking to the future right here in this room, what words of advice do you want to give them really quickly?
Give y'all a little financial literacy advice.
Yes.
Make sure that let me give y'all a little financial literacy nugget. Because, you know, I was the guy who, you know, come from nothing and then ended up making a lot of money, didn't necessarily know what to do with the money, right? I started learning what to do with it after I started, like Manny said earlier, going out, popping bottles, spending a lot of the money. So what I would encourage y'all to do is learn how to save your money. Simple, right? Learn how to save your money. Don't spend all of your money. Most people spend all of their money and they try to save. How about spend your money after you save? How about paying yourself first before you go blow all of your money? Like if your mom gives you $10, make the money stretch. Don't go blow it on $10 Whataburger. It's a simple concept. It's very, very simple. Like learn to save. Don't overspend what you make. Don't live beyond your means. A lot of people go broke and they never get wealthy because they live beyond their means. It's the truth. And wealthy people understand that simple concept of saving and investing first and then spend.
For me, I want to say more to the youth is don't let anybody tell you what to do, and don't let anybody tell you can't do something. If you believe in it, do it. If you love it, do it. If you're good at it, do it. Because that's the most important thing is like you can do anything you want to do, but you have to love to do it. I love my job. I love what I do. I love my employees. But if I didn't love it, it wouldn't be to where it's at today. So love what you do, be good at it, and give your 100% of it. Because that could be the reason why you one day become the person you want to be and stand on this stage to speak about your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.